Today, let's discuss our new topic on the basis of our function in C. So, function in C means it is a block of a code that performs a specific task. So, instead of writing the same code again and again, you can call a function whenever you need it. So, what does that mean? We will see in our code, and also I have an example here. So, we also have the benefits of a functions. What are the benefits? So the benefits are the functions makes your code organized, it will avoid the repetition, and also it is easy to debug and maintain. So how it is easy to maintain, we will see here. So here we have a syntax which is our return. Here return type functions name parameter, right? So this is our simple syntax where you can you don't have to memorize it. So here return type means it is a type of a value of a functions which will give back like int, float, void, right? So this is a type. And function name is, it is a name of a functions. You can write anything like sum, average, right? And parameter means it is a value. It will give the value to the functions, right? So it is optional. You can write it or not, but if you have a print something and also wants to put a value, then you can put the parameters. And inside this curly bracelet we are going to code our will code and run our functions. And of course we have one example, we will see it. So what our function said, it is a block of code that perform a specific task, and instead of writing a code, you can writing a code again and again, you can call a function whenever you need it, right? So this is the perfect example where you don't have to write again and again the conditions. Here we have, so as we said that include will allow us to write the printf, right? So void grid, void means what? Return type. So this is a return type where we have written a void, and grid means a functional name. Here parameter, we'll leave it empty. It's optional if you want to write, but we don't we are just writing a simple functions which no parameter and no return value. That's why, so this is a simple example. So void grid, void means our return type, grid means our functional name, and this is our here inside it's a parameter, but we are only giving an example of no parameter and no return values. Whereas we are going to print the hello. I've written a black slash n, so it's little bit congested here. And now after defining our function, this is what, this is our function definition, right? Now what are we going to do is calling of functions. So what our definitions told, so instead of writing the same code again and again, you can call a function. So we can call a function whenever you need it. So I want to call all functions 2 times, so I have called the functions by grid and this what we can say bracket. So this is our functional call, so we can call it multiple times. And what our output gives, so output gives our hello, because I have written here printf hello, so it is going to print as many as time you are going to call the functions. So this is our simple functions. Now let's see a functions with a parameter. So what does that means, functions with a parameter? So functions with a parameter means, so we gave an input name to the functions, and the function prints the personalized greeting, right? What does that means? We are going to print our parameter here, our personalized greetings it is going to print. So we'll see this example as well, right? So here function prototype. So what does functions with parameters and functions here functions with no parameter? Functions without parameter means we don't have any parameter and we are only creating this one without personalizing anything, right? But here function with parameter means we are going to personalize our greeting as well, right? So by greet hello friends, so this is how we are going to functions with parameters. Now let's see our functions prototypes. So this is also very important. What does the functions prototype? So functions prototype means if you call a functions before defining it, C needs to know about it. First, this is called a function prototype. So here we have to call a functions before defining, and prototype means int a plus b. So here we have to return a value and we will store it a variable. But what is this most important is, this is a most organized way if we have a big functions, right? So we can write it, but first of all we have to declare our prototype. This is our prototype, and start this is our prototype, and we can start calling our functions. We can start from here, and then again we can write this function definition at the last. But to do that we have to declare our prototype, which is our int add, int a and int b. So we are going to add two functions. We have to write it clearly. Now let's see this all the definitions in the VS Code. Okay, let's implement our code into this VS terminal. First of all, what are we going to do is, we are going to have an example of a functions with no parameters and no return values. For that we are going to write include studio.h. It will allow us to use the printf. Now what are we going to use our return types, which is our void. Let's say I'm going to use the void, which will not return a values anything, so there will be no parameter, right? So there will be no parameters, and print f. And then now let's say hello world. I want to print this one, and backslash n for I want to print it separately. Now we are this is our function definition. Now we are going to call our function simply. So int main. Now what are we going to do is greet here one time. So I'm going to call, this is a functional call, so as many as I can call here. I don't have to write separately print. I simply have to write greet and then call the functions. Now you can see here I have written a 3 greet, and I have called a 3 function here, and it print out 3 hello world. So this is the magic of a functional. Now let's say I want to print, okay, let's print the functions with the parameters. For that what we can do is, we can simply write here our parameter char name, let's say, because okay, let's say hello, and then simply here you can write here as. Now this is for, yes, because we are, this is for a string data type. Now here we can simply write name, and then what are we going to do, okay, now we have written simply the parameter. Now we are going to personalize our greeting. So how we are going to do that, we are going to personalize our greet by greet here writing name or anything like Ram here, Sita, right? Anything you can greet and call. But let's see, first of all here you can see, so this is a hello print, this is our already print for written character. But now we can personalize our, what we can personalize our here functional name, sorry, not a functional name, we can personalize our personalize here greet like Ram, Sita, and as whatever you want to call it. You can call a functions by including a parameter. If you include the parameter, you are allowed to personalize your greeting. So this is a next example of a functions which returns the values and have not a returns of values, which have a parameters. Now let's see with the parameters and returns a value. Next example. Okay, so next example, okay, let's say int, I'm going to add let's say add a and b, right? Now I'm just going to sorry, not printf, I'm going to return here a plus b, right? So this is our functional definitions. Now what are we going to do is we are going to write, now we are going to functional call, right? To do the functional call, first of all we have to write a result. Okay, first of all this is a int, right, is equal to, I'm going to write here add a value. What I'm going to put is, let's say 21 and here 54. Okay, so adding of this one, we can simply printf. Now here we can simply printf the results, right? And then what we can return the value. So this is how we are going to add. Let's see it's going to work or we have any problem. So yes, we have a problem. So okay, let's say add. I have written add here, functional warning type. Oh, okay, what we have made mistake. As you can see here, type of a defaults to int, so we have to mention here int. Okay, that is our mistake. Okay, let's check it again. Okay, so we have to mention a data type. Okay, I forget that one, but let's not forget, we have to include our data type as well, because I have already here included data types, which is our integer, right? So we have our 75, so which is our adding value, that is a 75. So this is a example of a functions with a parameter which returns a value.